So this we're talking mainly about stuck tonight, being stuck. And this is Diana's very first live. Hi, William. Very first live. So well done. Woohoo. Exciting.
It is. Here I am trying to do something to get unstuck. So trying something new. Yeah,
Yeah, try something new.
I'm
This is
excited.
what we should do. Come out of our comfort zone. It's really, really good for us. So, for people that don't know me, I'm Sue Reid. My publication is Confidence Matters. So, I write and coach about all things confidence. I help people to build their confidence and self belief because I think self belief is really important. And that will come into our conversation today, I'm sure. And I'm been talking a lot about alignment recently. So I think confidence, it kind of grows quietly in the background when you are becoming aligned. And this is what I've discovered in the last 12 months, or not the last 12 months, but this year anyway, in 2026. This is my new foundings. So I'm writing a book now on alignment. I'm calling it the aligned path at the moment. That could change. So just wanted to get that out there
It's a
before
good
we
name.
begin. Do my
I
little
like the
sales
name.
thing before we begin. So tell us about you, and hi Sarah. Tell us
Yeah.
about you, Diana.
Hi. Well, thank you, Sue. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. I'm really
Welcome.
excited. And I am a certified professional life coach, and I connect with people who have hope that there is more to life than simply getting by. I connect with them in powerful ways that allow them to get unstuck in any areas that are keeping them from being and feeling amazing. And the way we do this is I really help them envision their most fulfilled self. And it's very exciting to partner with somebody as they're taking very manageable steps, moving forward at all times towards having this life, creating, designing, and then enjoying this life that they've created. And and I love it. Like it just really fills me up.
You can
I
tell.
just
You can
finished
tell. You
writing
shine
on.
when you talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel so lucky, so honored to be able to be with people when they have aha moments, when they realize that by challenging one belief or limiting thought, how all of a sudden they're having so much experiencing more joy in their lives and fulfillment, and that's incredible. That's what we all want. And I just finished writing the manuscript for my first book,
Mm.
so I'm pretty excited about that. I worked on that all year, and now I'm editing it and I'm adding a lot more to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a self-help memoir, so it's a memoir, but also a lot of the exercises that I've been using over the past many years to transform my own experiences of life from feeling like a victim to somebody who feels very empowered and can access joy and gratitude at will. So I
Yeah.
share that because I don't want to keep it to myself. I share all the exercises with people, but I do it by also a lot of storytelling and things were difficult in my life. So it's pretty emotional to keep going back to it. These were some stories that
Yeah.
I thought I was happy to never have to think about again. Things that happened in my life that I felt so grateful I was past them, and now I'm a little bit in it
I'm doing
again.
it
But
all again.
yeah,
Yeah.
but now
Yeah.
there's
But that's
purpose to it.
good. It's good. It's good,
There's
A,
purpose to
because
it.
if there's anything that's still left in there, which there more than likely is, that's why you're getting emotional.
Yeah,
That will come out now. You'll be able to release it.
yeah.
So it's like a clearing
Thank
up
you.
of your energies. And then you're helping other people. Your book's going to
Yeah,
help other people. So
yeah,
that is a great thing. I mean, I write a lot about my past life, and I shut the door on the past and started a
mhm.
new life, new chapter. I'm a completely different person now than I was
Wow.
years ago. But when you write about it, and when you start writing about your life, and you're including your stories because they will help other people, it does mean you've got to open those boxes again that
Right,
you didn't want to open.
right,
But
right.
I think it's good. It's painful to begin with, but it's
I think it's good too. I am
cathartic. Is
processing
that the
it.
word? Cathartic? Cathartic.
Yeah,
I'm not very good at
absolutely.
that.
It is, and I'm learning different lessons now that I'm looking back. You had posted something, no, it wasn't you, but somebody had posted something asking questions about do you journal? And
Hmm.
I responded that I don't. To me, a journal is like that you could go for as long as you want,
Yeah.
and there's really no limits. For me, I have a 5-year diary, and so there are limited lines on each page, and it's always like January 2nd for 5 years in a row, which is cool to look back, see what we did. And I've kept that for decades. So that
Wow.
is what I keep going back to as I'm editing this memoir. And like, wow, I mean, I'm 58 now, and I'm reading about how I felt when I was 29 and married to somebody who suffered from a substance abuse disorder and had a few kids, and talking about feeling stuck. I really felt stuck.
Mm.
And I was very confused, and I didn't understand the behaviors, and what was going on. And now I have such clarity, and I understand everything. And I have a big mixture of emotions as I'm reading back. I think of her as somebody else, this
Yeah.
young Diana, and I want to call to her. I want to explain to her, no, this is why. This is why he's acting that way. This is what's going on. This is, you should do it. Or what, I wish I could guide her in that way, but she had to go through her own process. And here I am. So I'm grateful for the whole journey, but it's interesting. I'm a few different people as I read back from these 5-year diaries. It's
Yeah.
really pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So Sarah Francis says she feels really seen. Yeah, you
Oh,
identify with that. I did too.
that's
I mean, I've done,
awesome.
like I said, I tried to shut the door on the past life. But I think it's good to open it back up and get your cupboards cleared out, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't leave all the rubbish in there. Take it out and get rid of it. But yeah, no, I never kept, I think I wrote diaries when I was very young, but then I threw them all out. I never kept anything when I was going through my troubles, as I call them, because I had a lot of shame, and
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody reading. I wanted to keep it all secret and keep it inside. So it's only lately I've actually been able to talk about stuff. So I have started journaling again. But it's very like, I just write a few things, whatever comes out in the morning. I think I do most of my like journaling type releasing it in meditation. So when
Okay.
I'm doing my meditation, but I do like to write down. I like to write down what went well yesterday. So I put WWWY, what went well yesterday. I write down my gratitude. And then I write down my intention for the day, and that's about it really. Unless there's something sometimes I wake up with things in my head and I think, right, I need to write this down and work through it. So then the journal comes out, but it's like just whatever it is.
I love it. I really do. And I'm learning a lot from other people's sites on Substack and things that they say that they do or questions that they ask that I decide to answer. And then I carry that with me like before bedtime, thinking, no, in the morning, thinking, what do I want to say at bedtime about, 3 things that I'm grateful for today, 3 things that went well, or three. So then I think in the morning, because I'm thinking, right, I'm thinking ahead of time, really envisioning how am I going to feel tonight. And then I'm very intentional about the day because I've named those 3 things. So it pretty much, I align my day and my decisions to make sure that when I'm going to bed at night, I can say those 3 things. And
Yeah,
it's been cool.
that's
It
good. I love
really
that. I
has.
might copy that. That's really good.
Yeah, it's
Add
good. It's
that
just
to
a
my
little
tool.
easy way to be intentional. I mean,
Mm,
I'm all about intentionality and visioning, and I feel like when the subject of this is feeling stuck, and I think when you can envision how you want to be feeling,
yeah,
changing your story from focusing on what's going wrong and what you're tolerating, what's not feeling right, and how you're a victim to, well, how would I feel if it all was going right? And what does that even mean? What does that mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Where am I? What am I doing? And if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, let's say I'm tolerating a situation where I don't like my job and I feel stuck in my job. So, well, and maybe I don't know what other kind of job I want, but I do know how I want to feel when I wake up. And I do know how I
yeah,
want to feel when I come home. And I do know, chances are I'm going to want to feel fulfilled or that I'm doing something that has purpose, or I happen to be a person who likes connecting with people. So maybe my job would have to do something with that. So even if you don't have the exact as much as you can as many details as you can add. I like to write this down,
Mm.
and then you have a roadmap, and then you have intention, because now once you've put yourself into it, you see that it is possible. Here, I thought I never could, leave that marriage, or I never. My jobs have always been good, thank God. But let's say I never could leave that job, and but now you've just written about you having a different experience. There
Yeah.
you are, and you're describing it, and it's very powerful, and opens up a lot more opportunities when you're feeling stuck. Sometimes it's very hard to do, you know,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
a lot of that then depends on our stories, right? And we were talking, our stories are basically how we feel about our lives and ourselves, and um, and of course, we've written a lot of our stories, but what can be frustrating is that a lot of other people have also written parts of our stories, right? Our
Yeah.
parents, our
Yes.
siblings,
Yes.
our
Absolutely.
teachers, our
Yeah.
partners, our children, religious
Yeah.
leaders, community, and it's all fine, unless you get to the point where you realize this story doesn't align with who I am at my core. Like this isn't
Exactly.
working for me, right? So like
Yeah.
living on autopilot without ever taking the time to think, what can I change about my story? And when you do that, that becomes very powerful also. When you take the
Yeah.
time, like we all have that thing that keeps us up at night that we're really anxious, I think. Maybe you guys don't, but I do. There's always like, so even as good as everything is in my life, there's always some that I'm going to be very worried about. And if you ask me like, well, what's the story behind it? I can tell you the story. But then if you challenge me, well, what could you release from this story to make room for more possibility? What's something you can let go?
Mm.
Like, what is sticking to this story costing you? That's a very powerful exercise. I did that to myself about a year ago, and so many things in my life really changed, that needed to change. I took much more ownership for things I'd been blaming on past experiences or people in my life. And I realized those things have happened, but what can I do about it now? And there were things I could do, and I could own up to that, and I did. And so I really, I changed that part of my story and got unstuck in that one area of my life. Um, I don't
Yeah.
know. These are things I'm just throwing out. These are things I think about a lot. So
Yeah. I can tell. I can tell.
tell me
I
about
mean, I
you.
think it was it Wayne Dwyer that said, the moment you get stuck is when you tell yourself you're stuck.
Yeah,
And I think that is so
I,
true. It's what we tell
that's
ourselves. When you start telling yourself you're stuck, I don't know what to do, you are programming your brain. You're telling your brain, okay, we don't know what to do. So, okay, well, we'll just stay like this then, shall we? Because
right.
you're not giving it any instructions. And we really do need to train our brain, because our brain, our nervous system, it's wired to protect us, and that's it. That's what it wants us to do. It wants us to survive in this very dangerous world that it thinks we live in, because you've got the ancestral part of your brain at the back that still thinks we live in those really dangerous times where, we're going to meet a saber-toothed tiger around the corner, or another tribe's going to attack us. We still have that going on in our brain. But then we've got another part of our brain, the more modern part, that's saying, no, well, no, we need to learn things, we need to grow, we need to have success. And so there's that conflict going on. But you can train your brain by reminding it to look for the good things.
Mhm.
This is why we do the gratitude. This is why we look for things that went well, because when we do that, we're telling our brain, this is what we want to focus on. So all the things that you do in the morning and at night, it's all going into your subconscious. And this is why you spot the opportunities. This is why the good things come up, because you've told your brain that's basically what
Yeah,
you want to see. But when you tell your brain, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, everything's going wrong, it's going to think, okay, everything's going wrong. We'll just sit here until it goes right again, then, shall we? it
right,
doesn't,
right.
it
No,
doesn't
it
lead you
doesn't work that
forward.
way. I have found that I practice looking for or noticing gratitude when things are going right.
Yeah.
And people say to me at work, like, why do you always look so happy? Because I am, because I'm focusing on everything that's going right. I'm focusing on the blue sky, the littlest things. I'm focusing on right? I'm focusing that I can walk around, that my legs work. I'm focusing on the fresh air. I'm focusing on conversations I'm having with each other. I'm doing that. And it's much easier to do when things are going right. But when things are not going right and I wake up in a bad mood and on the wrong side of the bed, or I'm feeling lousy, I'm not sure why. I know that that's going to get me out of my mood. And it's not easy then, but because I've practiced it so many times when things are going right, I can access it. And at first, it feels a little silly. If you're really upset about something and now you're supposed to focus on things that are going right, that doesn't feel logical, but it works. So
Yeah.
usually I can just access like whatever's right in front of me. Let's say I'm waking up from very anxious thoughts during the night, and I'll just focus. I'm grateful for electricity. I'm grateful that I had a warm bed, even if I didn't sleep very well. When I'm in the shower, I'm grateful for the warmth of the that I have, that I have running water, and that it's warm or that it's cold, depending on the degrees, the climate. I'm grateful that I have a purple rug that gives me such joy in my bathroom. I'm grateful that my fingers are working, and I'm grateful that
Mhm.
there's enough conditioner in the conditioner bottle. Have you seen this hair? That's a legitimate one. And but when I get to the point where I start feeling grateful for the people in my life,
Mm.
and grateful for the way that my life has gone, and then grateful that I know how to change my mood, then I know I'm going to be okay. And that's when my shoulders relax.
Yeah.
And that's when my breathing relaxes. And that's when a smile spontaneously comes to my face. And I just feel so empowered. Wow, I just did that. I'm going to have a very different day. And the people around me will have a very different day as well. My husband is not going to get, a cranky wife. Like I'm going to be somebody who's feeling really good. And so he'll respond in kind, and hopefully that'll help him. My children as well. My colleagues, I'm going to
Yeah.
be, they're going to meet somebody very different than they would have had I not taken the time to do that. So that's
Exactly.
something that I practice with my clients too. And I just find it seems so simple and it's so powerful. Such a game changer.
So, yeah, so Belinda's here from Evergreen Essence. Hi. Yes, yes, our reptilian brain is always interpreting danger incorrectly. Great example. Sorry, it's it's very difficult to read the writing. Great example of how to retrain our brain to to focus on. Sorry, it's because you're wearing a light top and the writing's white, and
Oh,
it's
do
very
you want me to read it?
pretty.
Because on my screen it's
Yeah,
easy
can
for
you
me to
read
see
it?
it.
Sorry, your eyesight might be better than
Yeah. Oh, so now I know. See, I've just learned something new. Like I shouldn't wear such a light top.
mine.
It's a baby blue. Harnessing our reticular activating system. Love this. And then she gives us a compliment, or he or they. You are both doing a great job in keeping this real smiley face.
Thank you. It's
So that's
Belinda, her
awesome.
name is. She's
Okay.
lovely. Lovely.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you,
Thank you.
Belinda. Yes, yeah.
Something
So,
I will share,
yeah.
Sue, that so one of my children aligned her body to match her gender identity many,
Okay.
many years ago. And when she did that, I just I called her siblings and said, "You must know that this is evidence that you're never stuck. That you'll always be able to get out of any situation you're in. Use this as evidence.
Hmm.
Like this. If somebody can do that, then the sky's the limit. It really is. I was just listening yesterday to a video from somebody who had been a hostage for 2 years, and then right, like you're really a victim, and things have happened to you, and so that would make sense if you're really feeling like a victim and powerless and stuck.
Yeah.
Even so, he said he had rules for himself. I only remember three, but one was patience. That he was just going to take it one day at a time. If I make it through today, I've succeeded. I'm just going
Yeah.
to make it through today. His second one was that he was going to try to bond with his captors by finding things in common that felt very important to him. And so he did that. And the third was that he was going to really deliberately not live in anger. He said, of course, I felt angry at times, but he would do everything he could to focus on gratitude.
Yeah.
Anything he could think about. I imagine he was thinking of his family. I imagine whatever he was thinking about. But I found that very powerful. I mean, yeah, right? I mean, we all know like the book Man's Search for Meaning, but that you even if you're in a position where clearly you're stuck in so many ways, you still got your mind.
Yeah.
And that's very
Yeah. There's always something. There's always something to be grateful for. And I think, if you're feeling stuck, just find that something that you can hold on to. So, at least I've got my health. At least, I've got my my home. I've got a roof over my head. At least I've
powerful.
got, I can look at the sky out of the window. There's always something. And I mean, I know I don't want to give the impression that, you need to be happy tappy all the time, because life just
Correct.
is not like that. Life sometimes is really horrible, as we know. Um, and but we have to ride the wave. We have to accept that some things are going to be awful, and we will go through these seasons where, we just think, oh my God, but you will come out of it at some point, and then life will get better. We just go through these tides. But if you can, tides, waves, but if you can find something to hold on to, like the love that you have for your family, like, your faith, maybe, the beauty of the natural world. There are so many things that we can focus on that will bring us back to ourselves, our deepest part of ourselves, and to keep us aligned.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
I remember um, when I was, it's, I don't know, going through the divorce or thinking about it, contemplating it. And I was we're stuck because we're scared, right? We have such
mm,
fears of shame, embarrassment, or mine was being alone and knowing what to do, and shame and embarrassing, all of the things.
mm,
And, but I remember thinking, wow, I'm going to be so lonely. And I talked to myself. So I'm in the car and I say it out loud, and I heard myself and I said, I'm never alone. I'm never alone. You just heard a voice. Like I'm with
mm.
me and I'm pretty great. And I get all my jokes. So, and it actually is something that has stayed with me. I mean, it's been a really long time, but that has really stayed with me. So when I do have those moments, just even that, you're never alone. You're with
Mhm.
yourself.
No,
And
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I when I when I was going going through a divorce, after a toxic marriage, it was the best thing that could have happened to me, us splitting up. But I still, like you, thought, I don't want to be on my own. I don't want to be lonely. But then I knew that by saying that, I would just go into another toxic relationship. So I'd already
right.
gone through three. I thought, I cannot go through another one, because that would be at some point my life is going to end if I carry on down this path. So I thought to myself, okay, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to live the rest of my life on my own. I don't want to go out and find somebody who's going to hurt me again. So what do? I know I will tell my brain exactly. And I hadn't done any like self improvement at that point. I was like, no confidence, nothing. But in my head, I thought, well, I will tell my brain what I want. I'll have this vision of who I want to come in my life. And I wanted somebody that would be kind, that would treat me like an individual, not somebody they can control, and would make me laugh, particularly somebody, because I hadn't laughed in so long. Find somebody that makes me laugh. And I think within probably about 2 months, I found somebody. He had no idea I'd found him.
That's
He was
awesome.
totally oblivious to it.
Right.
But I just saw him and I thought, "You're the one. You are the one." I
Oh my
heard him
God.
talking on the
Wow,
phone
you
to
really
somebody,
knew.
and
That's
I thought,
amazing.
"There, that's the one." And we've been married 28 years this year in
Wow.
September.
Wow. That's amazing. I also find that really powerful when when I have stopped being so specific about my ask to the universe, right? Then, and I more say things about how I want to feel, how I want the person to make me feel, how I want my new home to feel,
Mm.
the types of things I want to do in it. Forget what it looks like. Forget what the person looks like or specific characteristics about them that aren't about me. I just, this is how I want to feel when I'm with them. And I see that my new husband just joined.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
so I also, the universe answered me in spades.
Mm,
And but it hadn't for a while when I was too limiting, when I was too specific, when I had a whole list. The person needs to look like this and do this and have this kind of a job and whatever
mm,
I said.
mm.
No, the universe knew better, right?
Yeah,
Like, how does he
yeah.
make me feel? And what kind of a life can we have together? And spot on. Better than actually, I mean, better than I knew to ask. Honestly, better than I knew to ask.
So what's your husband's name? Is that Shy or Shay?
Shy. Yeah.
Shy.
Yeah.
Hi, Shy. Give
Yeah.
you a little wave back. Lovely to see you here. That's really sweet.
Yeah.
Um, what was I just going to say? I was going to say something. You knocked me off. It'll come back. It'll come back
But,
to me.
well,
It'll
I mean,
come back.
your
Oh,
husband,
I know
you've
what I
been
was going to
married.
say. Yeah, speaking feelings, it's really important. Feelings are so much more important than like words.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, when I was my one word for 2026 is trust, and that has served me really well this year. And so I was thinking what I wanted, and I was thinking, right, okay, I want I'm going to think £1 million, and I'm going to think £1 million, and I kept thinking of that. I want £1 million, and it wasn't just I wasn't feeling it. It was just wasn't. It didn't feel like anything. It just felt like a request. And I thought I mustn't I mustn't think money's bad. I must like do all this work on myself to accept money. Money's good. What you can do with it. No, didn't work. And then when I started writing my book, I thought, do I want this book to make me £1 million then? And I thought, I want this book to I want to be recognized for writing a good book. And then I thought, do you know, all of my life, all I've really wanted to do was I've been driven by recognition. And a lot of that was trying to prove myself, I know, which is wrong. But recognition for doing a good job is something that's always driven me. It drove me in my career. Um,
It's
you know,
important to know that. Great that you
yeah,
know.
and as soon as I thought that, my I felt my soul go, "Yes, you got it.
Oh,
This is what we're gonna do." And so I know that this book is gonna do really well.
I was going to ask you because you're writing all about alignment, and I was going to ask, do you have a physical tell when something is aligned for you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It feels right. It feels right in your heart, and you kind of everything starts to slot into place. Like you understand what I always think of it like a jigsaw. Like you suddenly you think, yeah, I know where that piece goes, and I know where that piece goes, and everything starts to slot into place once you're aligned with what you want and what's right.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a really good feeling, and you also your confidence starts to grow because you're starting to be aligned. You're living your values, you're making decisions that suit you, what you desire matches with what you're doing. Because this is a lot of ways that people go wrong. They want something, but they don't actually act in a way that says they want it. Like a common one is I want to be fit and healthy. So I'm going to join the gym, but I'm not going to go this week because I'm feeling a bit tired. And oh, yeah, I've been invited out to this meal and everybody else is having a sweet. So I'm going to have one as well. That doesn't line up with wanting to be fit and healthy. So
Right.
you're just confusing the thing.
Right. And Ruth says, recognition is so important. We all want to be seen, heard, belong. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Ruth. Yeah. 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 It's always a
Yeah.
little bit of a conflict with me because I know that a lot of my problem was trying to prove myself, trying to fit into places that I didn't really fit into, trying
Mhm.
to be somebody that I wasn't. But
Wow,
that's
that's
not the
very
same as
challenging.
being recognized for being me and for being good at
Yeah.
something.
Right. And you're so good. at being you. But I love getting to know you, and
Oh,
I know I really do. I enjoy your posts. I enjoy watching these. I learned from you. Like it's great that you found yourself, and then clearly your confidence has soared, and you put yourself out there. And about how long has it? Like when was that transformation for you?
this is a weird thing because I tried to think like, okay, when did I become confident? And this is what I've realized. It's as you become more aligned with your true self, as you start living in your values and what you really want out of life, and as you start asking for things in the right way and feeling the feelings, your confidence grows in the background. So there's no point I can say that was a transformation. The only thing I can point to is the day I said to myself, I am not going to go down this road anymore. I'm shutting the door on that life. My new life starts from now.
Yeah,
This is what I want it to look like.
that's
And
very powerful.
yeah, so
And the
that was
words
a
are so powerful.
transformational moment.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you've just been consistently becoming. You
Yeah,
know how like
exactly.
the universe is so cool, and it really like just gives us what we need. So 2 minutes before we came on here, um, something that I had restacked. I got a notification that Diana Shutt Franklin has, has restacked something. Oh, what was that? It was from a few days ago, and it was this study from Harvard that revealed a 25-year study that people who stay young after 80 have mastered a hidden anti-aging system. And then what I found really powerful in it is they were talking about a woman in her 80s who is she's doing great and she's really healthy, and it didn't have to do with her expensive anti-aging products. She says, I never stopped becoming someone new. She was always learning new languages and traveling and new activities and just reinventing herself. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
we're going to give up on our values and who we are at our essence, but there is so much permission there. Like it's ridiculous to say I'm too old to learn a new skill. That in fact it's healthy
Exactly.
to learn a new skill, and it's healthy to be a beginner. I was a
Yeah.
beginner today. I've never been on a live before,
Yeah.
and this was really helpful for me to read, to remember like that's actually a good thing to be a beginner,
It
and
is. Yeah.
it takes a lot of the fear out of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah. Oh, there's another message from
oh, do you want me to read it?
Ruth.
Or-
Sue shared her vision of, oh yeah, being at the UK Literature Festival, reading from her book. And yeah, so Ruth said at that point, Ruth said she was going to sit in the front row. And she
I'm
said,
there
and
with
I want
you.
a signed copy too. Yes, you will. I'll
That's
personally hand it
awesome.
to you when we're there. So yeah,
Yeah,
we'll sort
yeah.
that out. Yeah, so
But
that's my aim, is to stand and talk about my book at the Hay Festival.
that's great that you can really visualize. I mean, because then clearly that's going to come to fruition.
Yeah,
'Cause-
yeah, because I know
Yeah,
exactly what I'll be
yeah.
wearing.
You're so
I
specific.
know what my I'm growing my hair back into a bob because when I stand on the stage, I want my hair to be in a bob again.
That's great. That's you're getting ready. You're making room,
I
right?
know.
You're making room for what you want. I've shared this with my husband that before I met him, and after I divorced, and there really wasn't anybody in my life, and I was wondering about that, and I was really hoping that there would be. And I read something, I forget exactly what it was right now, but what I did is I started sleeping on one side of the bed. I made room on the other side of the bed. I cleared out one of the cabinets in the bathroom, and I cleared out one of the closets in the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And I just did it without knowing who was going to be there. And I still appreciate when I see that, oh my gosh, like somebody is actually sleeping on that side of the bed. Somebody is using the drawer in the bathroom, and somebody has their stuff, hanging in the closet. Like it really, you are saying to the universe, yes, I know this is going to happen. I better get my hair in order.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
universe responds in kind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and your brain as well can see it's important. It's important, so it will look for opportunities to make that come true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I keep seeing
It's
things that I
energy.
think, oh,
It's
that's going to go in
energy.
my book and that's going to go in my book.
Right. Right. And as we're talking about being stuck, um, you just need you just need to change your thought a little bit, and magic happens. And when you feel unstuck just a little bit, new pathways will open up. And when
Yeah.
you walk down one of those pathways, even a little bit, more offshoots of pathways will open up, from that. And that's when the opportunities come and you really like crack open, from being, you hatch and
Yeah.
crack that egg open and see like this whole other world that you hadn't even realized was available to you when you look at a belief that's been limiting you, and that my community is going to judge me. There's no way I can do this. I've always learned that you can't do that. Women can't do that, or at my age I can't do that, or I've tried it before, so it's not going to work now. Anything that's limiting you, if you do it anyway, if you say I know I have this thought in my head, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to
Yeah.
try something anyway. I'm going to try something for the first time. It's amazing the results that happen.
Yeah.
Really, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you think to yourself, what makes me think I can't do it? What makes me think that I'm stuck?
Yeah.
So, like, well, why can't I change that? Because you can change anyone can change their life. They just have to make one decision and make a move in the right direction. You
Right.
only have to make one small move, and then the next day make another small move. There's no
Exactly.
giant leaps. If you want to climb a staircase, you don't need to stand at the bottom and jump up to the top. You only need to get to the next step. And if
That's
you
right.
keep doing that, you will look down and you'll think, my God, I'm here. I've reached the top.
Yeah. And it's okay if all you can see is that next step. You don't even
Yeah.
have to know what's up there. Just
No.
change something. If
Yeah.
if you're stuck in a career, if you feel stuck in a career, you have choices. You can look for a new job, or you can look for something where you are that's going to change your experience. How can I find more fulfillment here?
Yeah.
What is it? But again, it's thinking first, what do I really want? What would make me wake up feeling grateful? And getting very clear on that and seeing you have a bunch of ways to get it. They don't all have to be dramatic.
No.
Some of it can just be on focusing on something else or putting a boundary in place. They're all different ways to get unstuck.
I think the first thing to do is to be aware. So be aware of how you feel. So if we take the scenario that you're in a job and you're not very happy, you need to work out why you're not happy. What is it about that you're not happy with? So when you walk into the office, how do you feel, or wherever you work, your workplace, how do you feel when you walk through the door? At what point does your energy drop? And quite often it's like when you go to, you might go and get a cup of coffee and everybody is standing there moaning and telling you how bad the world is and gossiping and you feel your energy draining out of you. then maybe you don't need to leave that job. Maybe you just need to not stand next to those people.
So stop getting coffee there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just bring your own coffee or have it
Right.
before you get to
That's
work.
right. Set
Just
yourself up for success for the
yeah.
experience that you want. Yeah.
And when at work do you feel happy? If it's never, I never feel happy, then maybe
Right.
that is time to think about leaving. But
Right.
if you think, like for me, I worked in banking for a long time and there was a lot of like politics and like rules and da da da, and a lot of gossiping and like talking rubbish. And a lot of it I didn't like. But I thought, what do I like? I really love the people I meet. Do love the people I work with. Okay, they got on my nerves, but I do love them. I love the people I meet at work, the people I'm serving. So yeah, I have a love of people. So let me focus on that. How can I help this person? This person that's in front of me, how can I give them the best possible service? And by focusing on that, that made them happy. It made me happy. It made my boss happy. So
That's wonderful.
everybody was happy.
Yeah. You just got clarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like looking for the little things. You don't have to look for the big things. You just have to look for the little things. What makes me happy? What am I not liking so much? What's draining me? What's building me back up again? And then work from there. Same as in a relationship. Okay, um, our relationship isn't going very well. Well, when was it going well? What changed? Always look back and think, well, what changed? What are we? Maybe we're not talking to each other very much anymore. Maybe we're not doing things together anymore. Maybe like we've lost that. We sit at the dinner table and look at our phones. Maybe we should have this rule of putting our phones down and having
Right,
an actual conversation.
right, right.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
just looking for those little things. Now, before we finish off, I did really want to ask you because you said something when we were talking about rituals in
yeah,
our Substack chat community,
yeah.
and you said in the morning you wake up and you do in bed you do your
Mm,
Reiki, and I just wondered
I
how that
do.
worked.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. So, after as I was starting to get certified in life coaching, one of the one of the teachers there who was a life coach was also a Reiki master. And I'd always been curious. I didn't really know what it was, but I was curious and I asked her a little bit about it. And she said, "Oh, come to one of my classes." I said, "Well, not now." I mean, it was such a big deal for me that I was taking the certification course. It was the first thing I did for myself in years and years and years. And so, okay, I said, "But I do commit to when I finally get certified, I am going to find you and I'm going to see what it's all about." And sure enough, I did. And it's really just something. It's such a beautiful way to transition into the day, and it's so easy. I wake up. I usually have my eyes closed still, and I just like call into the universe, and then I give myself Reiki. I don't know Reiki, so it's universal energy,
Hmm.
and it's an ancient Japanese form of healing and well-being, and we have these 7 energy points in our bodies, these chakras, and each one aligns to physical parts of our bodies, to our organs, to our muscles, and also to our emotional state. And when one is out of whack, everything gets a little out of whack. So what this does, the Reiki, it keeps it open and it keeps that energy flowing. And I have really felt that I've been doing it for 9 years. I've been healthy for 9 years. I'm pretty happy. And so I for about 15 minutes, I'm giving myself Reiki on my different this is not a chakra, but it just feels great to do it. It just kind of gets my thoughts in order.
Hmm.
And the different energy points, the different chakras for a few minutes with each one, and I say some prayer. But while I'm doing it, I don't really have to concentrate. It's just kind of putting your hands in
Yeah.
different places. So my
Mm.
my mind can wander in a beautiful way. And I'll try to get really intentional about my day oftentimes. Or if I'm really sleepy, I think I'm not thinking much. I'm just letting it happen. But again, like I woke up and I didn't look at my phone. I awaken and I'm still lying in my bed and I'm watching as it gets a little sunnier outside. The light comes up and my body, it has it has 15, 20 minutes to just wake up and know that I'm doing something that's really healing and something that feels beautiful and it's become a ritual and it's a bit spiritual. And I shared with you, I just thought it was so funny. We were on vacation and out of our regular routine, and I was a little cranky one morning at breakfast, and my husband looked at me and he said, kind of tongue in cheek, but maybe not, "Did you forget to do your Reiki today?" And I thought back and was like, I actually did forget to do my Reiki today because we were on vacation and I was out of my routine. And I thought that was excellent. That was so
Mm.
validating for me that this actually worked. Like, so yeah, so and I have to wake up much earlier. All these things I want to do in the morning, I keep waking up earlier and earlier, but it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I
It's
do.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
worth
I
it.
I am. I'm getting earlier and earlier, and
Yeah.
I don't have an alarm clock or anything. I wake up when
Yeah.
and when I wake up, my body just says, like, "Get out of bed," 'cause, it just wants to move. So I do but then I sit back down, I just make a drink and I sit back down and
Yeah.
I read for a while, and then I journal, meditate, da
That's
da da,
great.
and then I do
So
my
you have
writing
a
for
whole
an hour.
routine also. It's
Yeah.
terrific. And if
I
anybody's
do.
curious about Reiki, I love to talk about it. Happy to talk to you about it. I give Reiki to others. You can give it over distance.
Mm,
So it's very healing. In the hospital, you give like it's great.
yeah. Yeah,
Non-invasive.
I might come back to
Yeah.
you about that then.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'd love to talk to you more about it.
Cool. Brilliant. Okay. Okay. So, anything that you else you wanted to say today that we didn't talk about?
I think we've covered a lot. I think
Mm,
no, I feel really good. I feel thank you. Now I can't say that I've never done a live before. So
no,
thank you for
you've
that.
done one.
And
Done one.
you've been such the perfect guide. The
Oh,
perfect no, really, you're very gentle. Really nice person to speak with. And I hope we can do it again. I think there are a
Well,
lot of
we
things that we
will,
want to
because
talk.
when I asked you what you wanted to talk about, and you gave me a long list of things you wanted
Yeah.
to talk about, I thought
Things
we
that
can't
yeah,
cover all that
things
in
that
one
I'm
show.
passionate about.
So we'll
Yeah.
have some more.
That would be
Have
great.
like one
Yeah.
next month or something.
Terrific.
And anybody else have any questions
Yeah.
or any comments before we finish off? I'm very grateful to, or we are very grateful for you all to be here,
We
for
are.
being here. Yeah.
We know just a lot of other things we can be doing. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and thank you if you're watching the replay as well. So I think that's it then. Thank you so much. I'm
Thanks,
really
Sue.
happy to be your first live partner. Everything is oh, Melon,
Yeah.
mahalo, mahalo. So lovely to follow your conversation. Bless you, Ruth. So hi, Melon. We're just about to finish off, I'm afraid, so you have to watch watch the replay. Yeah. So thank you, Belinda, as well. Aloha. That's what I was trying to say. Aloha. Right. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Much love, and I will see you all again. Bye then.